Well, guys, that's it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap for the Dallas Cowboys 2020 season that was abysmal. Definitely not the season I was looking forward to. But I'm thankful that we had a season with everything that we've been going through in the world with COVID and the lockdowns and everything else, with seeing how basketball and baseball had shortened seasons. The fact that we had 16 games is a miracle, and I have to give the NFL, I got to give them props. They had a lot of problems with getting the games and stuff going on and dealing with COVID and things, but to do what they did, hell, you almost say, I wish they were running the government, because maybe if somebody was running the country like that, we wouldn't have the problems we have with COVID right now, and we'd be actually back to having football games like we used to. I hope that we can get a grasp on COVID, because I miss being able to have big football parties, being able to go tailgate at the stadium and going to the games. I want to get those things back so much. This year was tough, losing Dak Prescott, seeing the team struggle, seeing us looking like ass, questioning who should be here and everything else. It was terrible. The season's over for us. We can put this in the rearview mirror, much like we did 2015. And in 118 days is the NFL draft. I know a lot of you are like, well, it's the offseason, I'll see you come August. No. Football is a 365-day-a-year job, as Stephen Jones pointed out, because player acquisition is a 365-day-a-year job. And the work is going to be starting out in the next couple of days, because the coaching staff gets together and they're going to have all their exit interviews with the players, with the coaches, and they're going to try and figure out what went right that we want to keep and what went wrong that we want to trash. We got players that we look at that might be overpaid, that we can do better with somebody else. We got some coaches who came in and failed for whatever reason. We've got things we have to fix before the end of February, because at the end of February, if you're going to franchise tag, transition tag, or any other kind of tag out there, you've got to have that put in before the end of February, because come March 15th, that's when the free agency period starts. And you better be in shape to start figuring out what draft prospects you want to get, because all this stuff you've got to take care of this part before you can get to August. So we got a lot of work to do. And in the course of what we're hearing from Mike McCarthy, basically talking about these exit interviews, when he was asked about Mike Nolan, he basically said, we'll do our exit interviews with players and coaches and make our decisions. So he did not give him a vote of confidence in saying, yeah, he'll be back. And you'll remember when we had our closing press conference a couple years ago, Jason Garrett was asked about Scott Linehan. Oh, we had a great season and everything was going great. We figure we're all close and we don't look forward to any changes. 3 days later, Scott Linehan was let go. So that was Jason Garrett saying he was going to be there, and he was gone. We now have Mike McCarthy saying, we'll have exit interviews, we'll get back to you. So to me, that says Mike Nolan is gone. And with Jalen Smith saying basically, I'm fine. Look at the scheme. I got to tell you, if you go on Twitter and look up Jalen Smith. Don't go to his profile. Just look up Jalen Smith and look at some of these videos. When you start seeing some of the things that Jalen Smith was doing on the field, you look at this and say, the fuck? I'm sitting here seeing, where he had the pass interference. He's over there, genuflex, yeah. And you got 15, you got pass interference. First down. Another one, he comes from out of bounds, and he's up there. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And here it is, guys are getting 15 yards, and he's doing the swipe. And I'm just like, dude, I get you're emotional and excited, but Let's really do something before you do all this stuff. Let's get a victory, and then let's see you genuflexing. Then let's see you doing the swipes. When you're doing all this stuff and we're getting our ass handed to us in a losing ass season, I'm sorry, it just looks terrible. Give me that shit when you're winning, not when you're losing, not when you're the bottom basement of a sorry ass division. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe I'm just too old. But that kind of stuff, it's like, what are you doing? But look on Twitter, because he's definitely getting roasted on that. And Mike McCarthy, I'm kind of, I don't know what my feelings are right now. I don't know what my feelings are, because in some regard, had we won the game and had to sit there and watch the Eagles and the Washington football team literally try and give the game back and forth, knowing that the Eagles literally pulled Hurts out and said, we're going to play Sudfeld, or should I say Suckfeld, or should I say Steinfeld? Because there was no, it should be Suck failed, because the guy did nothing. They literally put him in to make sure they lost. Had we won that game, knowing that we'd have a worse draft pick and sit there agonizing for the 3.5 hours that shitfest went on, watching and hoping that the Eagles would somehow win, and then, of course, still not in the playoffs, I think that would have made it worse. I'm okay, because I'm trying to look at the big picture. I'm trying to look at the big picture and saying, all right, we've got the 10th draft pick next year. Oh, I had a thought here. Mike McCarthy not calling the challenge, throwing the challenge flag on that catch, that really wasn't a catch. He trapped the ball. That was what could have made the difference in winning. The reality is, had we won it, it would have been meaningless, because the Eagles weren't going to win. But going forward, you have to start questioning some of the things we're doing. Maybe some of the play calling was because Andy Dalton is limited on the things he can do. We had a lot of passes that were misses, behind, late, that I feel that Dak Prescott is better suited. There were times where the pressure, you got to be able to move in the pocket to buy time, that Andy Dalton just does not have that skill set anymore, that his body has gotten old. And so I look at this and say, if you have Dak, you're a better team offensively because of the plays that Dak Prescott can make that Andy Dalton can't. And that's not trying to throw shade at Andy Dalton. It's just a fact that when you get older, you get slower. But if this team is what they say they are, and that is in on Dak Prescott, then you need to go ahead and get this shit done. We've been dicking around for too long and trying to get this thing figured out. And as I look at the Eagles situation, where you've already paid Carson Wentz, and you've seen over and over again, regardless of what the talking heads will say, that they've always said that he's an elite quarterback or a franchise quarterback or a top quarterback. The guy stinks, and he stunk for years. He had one good season. You look at that second-round draft pick, Hurts, that they got, right? I'm not sure Hurts is the answer either. Hurts makes some good plays with his legs, but his accuracy, he's got some issues there. He's exciting and fun to watch, but are you sure that that's a guy that's going to take you to the Super Bowl? You look at guys like, the Jets definitely need a quarterback. You got a Sam Darnold. You look at Washington. I don't think Alex Smith is a long-term answer right there, so Washington needs a quarterback. You look at Daniel Jones. Are you telling me Daniel Jones is the answer for those guys? I look at all these teams and say they need improvements in quarterback. We got one right there that has done everything for the Dallas Cowboys. And if you've had this experiment where you've seen Double G, where you've seen Ben DiNucci, where you've seen Andy Dalton, with the same field that you have, you go from 31 some points a game to I guess this week it'll be down to 19 points a game. What are you waiting for? Get this thing done so we can be a player in free agency, to get a quality free agent. So that's where we got a lot of work to do. And that's why I need you guys here so we can come up with solutions. Now, if you're a channel member, we're going to start doing some new stuff here. I'm going to do some exclusive videos that are just for channel members. And Michael gave me the idea. He's like, some of those stories that I've told him about, time at JMU when I was crazy, Mark, and, Charles Haley was just Charles Haley, and he was crazy Charles Haley, that you don't really want to broadcast and things like that, or some things that might be a little bit more personal. We're going to start doing those kind of videos and things for members only, videos and things. We're also going to start doing call-in shows where you'll be able to call in or Skype in and things like that. So that way there's more interaction between us as we go through and we try and console each other on the season that was the Dallas Cowboys. So with that being said, it's 11:45 and I got to get my ass up with my bad back and bad knee and get painting and sanding and fixing some shit on my day job. So as always, everybody, I appreciate all the support from you guys, and I'm going to see you first thing in the morning. I appreciate you. Peace out.